Good morning. Now, before I begin, by a show of hands, who in here has been feeling overly stressed due to the amount of projects and the finals that they have coming up? Well, the stress you're feeling, Division I athletes feel almost every day throughout their college experience. Now, as an athlete at a small junior college, I don't get quite the same experience that an athlete at a Division I university does. However, I do have an understanding of the way athletics can really cause stress on a student. Now, Division I college athletes deserve to be paid because of all the hard work and time they put in to their athletics and their academics. Now, there are several reasons why college athletes deserve to be paid, but today I'm going to discuss, in my opinion, the three most important reasons. That they should be paid due to the drastic amount of time they spend each week on athletics and academics, because of the way it is causing a separation between athletes and their families, and because simply the NCAA owes it to them, because without them, the NCAA would be nothing. So first, the NCAA should pay their athletes due to the drastic amount of time they spend each week on their athletics and academics. Now, Division I athletes have to be the best students on campus because they have the same amount of academic work as a normal student. However, they must maintain a certain GPA of a 2.0 to be eligible to play and participate in their college athletic competitions. Now, athletes, they don't get the same benefits that all normal students do. They don't get to be in the classroom firsthand receiving the information from a teacher because they have to spend a lot of time out on the road traveling for games, practices, banquets, award ceremonies, interviews, and all sorts of other things. Also, from the graph you can see, athletes spend well over 40 hours a week simply just on athletics. Now, these are staggering numbers that really shows just how hard it is for them to stay on top of their academic priorities. And a study from CBSSports.com showed that in 2012, a great number of Pac-12 students, which is athletes in one of the best conferences in America, were too exhausted to study effectively due to the extreme amount of work that they had to spend on their athletics. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Whenever you're spending well over 40 hours a week on something, that is now your job. That is something that you deserve to be paid to do. Secondly, athletes deserve to be paid because it's really causing a separation between athletes and their families. In 2011, the NCAA gave out a report that showed that 85% of college athletes' families live below the poverty line. Now, this just shows that these athletes, without their hard work and dedication, would have been unable to attend these big-time universities because they wouldn't have had the funds to get into these big-time schools. Now, it's unfair for these athletes because they're unable to go home and see their families because they can't afford a plane ticket or car payments to travel back and forth. And it's harder for their families to come back and support them and go to their games because they don't have the funds to pay for all of it. So the NCAA should give them a certain amount of money just to keep family interactions together. Lastly, the NCAA simply owes it to their athletes because of the large amounts of money that they make off of them. Now, the NCAA is an $11 billion association, and without the athletes that they have, nothing that they do would be possible. Now, this is a graphic shown by the NCAA of the ways they divide out their revenue. Now, as you can see, 81 goes into television and marketing fees, 11% goes to championships, 4 into investments, and so on. Now, I understand that these things need money in order for the NCAA to run smoothly the way it does. However, out of $11 billion, 81% is going strictly just to television and marketing rights. Now, there has to be some way for them to be able to divide out some of that money to give it to the athletes that are on the TV, that are bringing in these viewerships, bringing in all of this money. So to conclude, it is quite unfair that athletes are not paid what they deserve, and I hope that you've been able to realize that today. And before I go, I just want everyone to put yourself into the shoes of a Division I athlete, just for a second, and really think about how stressed you are now, and then double it, maybe even triple it, because that is the way that these big athletes are feeling every day. And so to conclude, the NCAA really should divide out some money to these athletes, because without them, the NCAA would be absolutely nothing.